that. Now, Sandy, I said earlier in the programme that we were going to hear more about the gunning principles and how they may be successfully deployed. And indeed, you've recently been to an event in Langport where you've learnt much more about this.
Yes, I spoke at the Hacienda in Langport in Somerset, and it was the final, the actual, celebrating freedom of speech event that we've been not been able to put on for a very long time, because basically the town council where I live don't like who I work for and don't like what I do, so that I've been banned. But anyway, we managed to do it because it's private land, lovely off-grid community there. It's run as a CIC, and it was very well attended with people eager to take action. I really feel that people are at the stage now where they're understanding how important it is to act. When there's tyranny going on in your own country, nuanced as it is still tyranny. Other speakers were Clive de Carle, he was speaking on health and well-being, and Richard Vobes, who, as usual, lightened up the day, making everyone laugh. And he promoted his soon-to-be-launched fictional book, Biggleswick, which is a fictional town that stood up against the global tyranny. So all of that was very, very nice. My talk focused on the planned gradual destruction of the UK over decades under a systematic land grab. Various means. I spoke of the destruction of farming and food sovereignty in the UK, net zero legislation with environmental and social governance contracts and biodiversity net gain contracts on land, corporate buyout of common land, the global framework law over local national sovereignty, which is going on, the technocratic governance over democracy, the World Heritage status worldwide, which is bringing tourism versus natural local habitat. So we've got a lot going on here. The talk also encompassed the latest plans for devolution under the English Devolution and Communities Empowerment Act, which is due to go through Parliament after the summer recess, which is anything but empowerment for the people. It's exactly the reverse. So the full talk will be up on my website soon, sadiadams.uk. So this is me speaking a little bit about devolution, if we could play that reel.
Net zero restrictions such as more ULEZ, more LTNs, more 15-minute cities, 20-mile-an-hour zones, increased surveillance. This is in these big regions that we've got, because what they intend to do is dissolve Parliament. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but you can see this all in the Cities and Communities Act of 2016. Look it up. I've got a picture of it here. And it was something that, it was an act that went through in 2016, laying out the powers of these, what they call directly elected mayors, covenant of smart city mayors. So what they'll do is they'll transfer the power of these mayors from Westminster, that will become powerless, onto these covenant of smart city mayors. So eventually you'll have a smart city mayor in each region, and there'll be only 8 regions in the UK, and it's an exact copy of Tony Blair's federal England that he put up in 1997, which failed. So it's the same map, and I'll show you a picture of that map in a minute. So what will happen, and now in Somerset we joined up with I think it was Sedgemoor Council and Nendip, and became unitary, and now they're joining up with, they've got a plan to join up with, so Somerset will join with Dorset and Wiltshire and become a region, and they're going to call it the Heart of Wessex. Now, all of these old-fashioned names for these regions were the same ones that Tony Blair had in 1997 for his map of federal England to be executed by 2020. So if you imagine what Sadiq Khan is in London, you will have a mini Sadiq Khan in every region, and their only focus is on net zero.
So thank you. That it was just a short clip really about devolution and what what we have coming. Now, Ian Jarvis came and he gave us a very comprehensive talk on the gunning principles and how, in his view, they could well be our salvation. And by reverse engineering the infrastructure for the digital prisons that are being created for us, I can't stress enough how powerful these principles are. They overturned a low-traffic neighbourhood in West Dulwich recently, and all the technology had to come out, and the fines have been paid back to the people, and the council have to pay the court costs. So it's an enormous win, really. It was won without judicial review because it's already in case law from 1984. So it went straight to the High Court and was won on the fact that the consultation procedure had been inadequate. Therein lies the key. It's about consultation procedures. So I'd like to just play Ian Jarvis summing up the power of the gunning principles in this little clip where he says it's the salvation of the UK.
I just want to say thank you for all your work you've been doing for all those years, and I think the gunning principles are really powerful, aren't they, if you use them correctly?
I think the gunning principles could be part of our salvation.
Yeah,
big part.
thank you.
Yeah, and he did a really good talk, and I've got the gist of the gunning principles here. And so the first one is the consultation must be at a time when proposals are still at a formative stage. This means the decision has not already been made and there's still genuine opportunity to influence the outcome. And number two, sufficient reasons must be put forward for the proposal to allow for intelligent consideration and response. The public or stakeholders must be given enough information to understand the issue and respond meaningfully. Number three, adequate time must be given for consideration and response. The consultation process must allow enough time for people to absorb the information, reflect, and submit their views. And number four, there's only four of them, the product of consultation must be conscientiously taken into account by the decision makers. Responses received during the consultation must be considered with an open mind before the final decision is made. Now, in my view, most of these consultations that are going on throughout the UK, whether it's on 5G towers, 15-minute cities, net zero, low emission zones, whatever, none of this is being done. And this is where it has to be challenged.
It absolutely does. And now at least we do know more about how, certainly a theme that we will persist with. Thank you very much indeed.